Hello everyone and welcome to another Zelda 2 Randomizer Tournament match. Max Rando here. We have the Alan Heffley and Freako here in the booth. I'll let them take over here.
Can't all be snobs. I'm a machine sound.
I'm here. I just can't hear y'all. Nope.
Fucking actually Jack that
I would hope so. My mic was muted for the last 20 seconds or so.
All right, let's take 2 here again. In the booth right now, we instead have Bleeding Blue 11 and Frico, because we're having some issues with Alan Heffley's audio. Maybe we'll get him later, but here we go, and hopefully the runners are ready, and I'm going to let them go.
All right, thanks, Shadow. How you doing, Frico?
Oh, I'm doing just grand.
Glad to hear it.
Looks like we have ourselves the final, not quite, don't call it the quarterfinals just yet match between VictorSantafe and bentglasstube. Actually, let me check the bracket right quick. This might be an elimination match in the losers bracket.
Yeah, I know it is loser's bracket. I'm not super.
Oh, it is a losers bracket match. Ooh,
Yeah, I assume this is double elimination.
that it is.
All right, so yeah, loser goes home today. High stakes.
Yeah, so this is actually going to be the winner moving on to face Paratroopa 1, who fell to Trails, I believe, last night. And unfortunately, the loser will have their second loss and be eliminated.
Yeah, 2 very good runners, though. So we're going to lose somebody talented from this tournament tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, the losers bracket does tend to do that over the course of a tournament. Only one's going to end up standing at the end of it all. So
Absolutely.
it looks like
we're getting
we are underway. All right, we have the key, the hammer, the candle. It does not look like we had any spells, but we have
Nope.
to dunk 6 crystals.
Key's immediately going to open up some dungeon exploration for us, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to want to have some... Ooh, Death Mountain holds the boots. We see a hint from VictorSantafe, bentglasstube, picking up what seems to be the life spell.
Yeah.
So I see one glaring issue right now, and that's 1 block of life for both of our runners.
Yeah, I just noticed that as you said it. That's we might see a lot of deaths and game overs early on.
So it looks like we want to get, well, if we can't find heart containers, ideally we'll have to, ooh, VictorSantafe finding a encounter, and oh boy, this is not going to be fun. It's getting absolutely dumpstered. And it looks like bentglasstube into a second town, a second spell, and find shield.
Yeah. That's going to open up, or allow him to beat P4, right?
Negative. That's reflect.
Oh, I thought it said reflect in the menu.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is reflect. Excuse me. Here I thought it was the shield spell. Things that happen when I pay attention as opposed to not.
I don't know a whole lot about this game, but I can read words and look at pictures. So I'll carry that torch.
Well, for me, they're just like, well, somebody's got to do the commentary, so let this guy do it.
Yeah, well, I'll learn trial by fire here. I've tracked a bunch of these races, like in the last rando tournament you guys did. I did a bunch of tracking, but I'm afraid I'm not familiar enough to dive into commentary. This is my first try doing that. So I'll do my
Well-
best. Hopefully you guys will bear with me.
If something happens that's notable, say something. That's.
I'll try to recognize notable things.
I mean, seeing a hammer-blocked cave on Bent Glass Tube's side, that's kind of notable.
Yeah, we do have a hammer though.
Bent Glass Tube taking the... dug his own grave there.
Yeah. And looks like he's gonna get bullied a little bit. Does upgrade life, that might help.
So this exploration's gonna be pretty rough to start. Let's see, 90 I believe is Magic 2. But once we get some life levels, that block of life may not just have us turn everything into like a one-hit KO fest here.
Now with the hammer, is there a reason they're avoiding that hammer block cave right now? Is that something you'd go explore?
I would, but that whole one block of life thing, you know, you pretty much get sneezed on and you're done for.
Yeah.
It looks like Bent Glass Tube finding the final town on the western continent. Actually, that may only be 3, but finding my spirit animal of I Know Nothing as one of the hints. Victor checking a tile and finding a 1-up doll and just going, nah, no thanks.
It's not like he's gonna die a lot in this match, right?
No, we're not going to see any game overs at all.
Regarding the life situation, is there, with max rando settings, is there any guarantee they're gonna find more?
No. It could be they're on one block of life and that's that. Or there could be a whole bunch of heart containers out in the field. That's the great thing about Max Rando, is it could be anything and everything in between 1 to 8, as VictorSantafe survives long enough to find the medicine.
It's too bad he can't use it on himself.
Yeah, the life spell's gonna have to do for the time being. And it looks like VictorSantafe is gonna turn that in, so we'll see what spell we get from it. If he happens to get Jump or Fairy, that would lead him to the Downstab. He's in the correct town for it.
Yeah,
At the top of the church right there, we see him walking by.
Looked like BGT just found the raft spot.
Well, 100-point P-Bag. Oh no. Orange and a red Dyra. Ew. Bent Glass Tube. Try the other way. Get out of there.
Jump.
Well, actually, it looks like we may have started with Downstab. Bent Glass Tube, using the pointy end. And we have a attack level coming in on the side of Bent Glass Tube, as VictorSantafe is gonna try to make his way through a cave. It looks like he has the jump spell.
Yeah.
Oh,
BGT exploring Death Mountain while Victor takes a death, unfortunately.
oh, jumped right into a fireball. Ooh,
Yeah.
what a shame.
And another. 1 life left.
Well, I predict a lot of game overs coming through. So
I would imagine.
I would not be too concerned about life totals unless we're inside of a palace. Otherwise, it's just okay. Minor inconvenience of the game over.
Yeah.
And of course, something will happen where I'll end up, you know, putting my foot in my mouth after saying that one. Victor doesn't seem to have the downstab, so bentglasstube might have picked it up while I wasn't looking. No, he just jumped on somebody's head. Oh, and it looks like he made it. Evade and survive. Let's see, bentglasstube. Let's see. Unfortunately, I know nothing.
Looks like we found the raft on Victor.
Ooh, bentglasstube had Death Mountain holds the something.
I did not see what. Trophy, apparently.
Alright, so that's one of the 2 items that are in Death Mountain. And Victor picking up a 200-point P-Bag. Looks like he's debating attack 2. He's going to take his attack 2. And convenient life up is convenient, picking up the last 5 points to pick up a life level.
Yep.
So here we go. VictorSantafe actually mustering the courage to break the boulder and find what's hiding behind door number 1. Oh, wow. bentglasstube picking up 500 points in a random drop.
Couple level ups there. Victor just got 500 as well.
Yeah, I think he's going... Ooh! Yeah, that'll be attack 3.
Yep.
Oh, he might cancel take the magic or life. Oh, he got life.
Can't really blame him.
No, when you're on 1 block of life, no. Nightcrawler will almost always criticize those who dump a lot of points early on into life levels, and I think this is one of the few times where it might actually be a very wise strategy.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, life 4 actually making things somewhat more survivable for VictorSantafe.
Yeah, it's nice to not die every time you get touched by something, right?
Yeah, very much so.
What palace did we just find there? Do you know?
I can tell you which one's the Great Palace and Palace 4.
Alright. I can tell you it's not the Great Palace. That's about as far as my knowledge goes.
Well, if there's a floating eyeball, it's Palace 4.
Alright, 3 or 6 apparently.
Uh-oh. bentglasstube's about to take a sauna bath.
Yeah.
Jumped a little too early after finding that raft. So let's see. We have a palace 3 or 6. There was a palace right next to the starting palace. Let's see. We have one more palace to be found on the western continent. The runners do have the raft, so it's possible they could head east. I've not seen any kind of Death Mountain access as of yet.
I think BGT explored it for a minute or so earlier. I don't remember where he entered, though.
Alright, bentglasstube picking up 500 point P-Bag. And he will have life 4. I believe both of our runners now have attack 3, magic 3, and life 4. And bentglasstube, knowing where that raft spot is, may actually be heading east. It looks like he's going right for it.
Off he goes.
Alright, so let's see what we can find here. Well, we have a forest tile. Let's see. A lava tile. Oh, we have the Valley of Death. A couple desert tiles. Ooh. Alright, I do not believe bentglasstube has jump, so that's going to be a negative. VictorSantafe finding the other side of the jump cave. So, bentglasstube about to find an item here.
Okay. Cross.
Ew. So if there were a literal whammy, I think the cross would actually be it. Just about the one item that just does not help in any way, shape, or form.
So what is the purpose of the cross in the vanilla game?
Well, the cross shows the invisible eyeballs that are floating around.
Okay.
For those who are more attuned to the names of the enemies, the eyeballs are called moas. But instead of, well, on one life bar, actually the cross almost has a little bit of value to it. Being randomly just killed out of nowhere from an eyeball that you can't see,
Sounds annoying.
Oh, very much so. So it looks like Victor picking up another 500 point P-Bag. This is not looking good for items in the pool, because everything that's not or removed from the item pool is replaced by a 500 point P-Bag.
Okay.
So the candle would be replaced by a 500 point P-Bag. The hammer replaced by a 500 point P-Bag. I believe the key would be replaced by a 500-point P bag. If there's any heart containers that are taken out of circulation, that's a 500-point P bag. So once we get past, I believe, 3 or 4 500-point P bags, I think that's a heart container that's taken out of being possibly found. Is Bent Glass Tube's actually just gonna try to raw dog Valley of Death here?
Okay.
Ooh, oh no.
Oh, that was rough.
Yeah, that was just like, yeah, thanks. I'm gonna jump. And of course, when I jump, I'm gonna get zapped by, there we go. Bent Glass Tube getting an encounter skip. Ooh, gonna need one more to actually make it to the palace, I think. And I think he actually stabbed the wrong way, but getting the encounter skip. Oh, and we have Palace 4. That's what I said about that eyeball floating around.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Palace 4. Now, if you took a closer look at the columns, it has like a face to it. If you find the other palace that has that similar column, that's Palace 1.
Okay.
Palace 2 and 5 have the same columns to it, as does 3 and 6. And, well, the Great Palace is the Great Palace. So, VictorSantafe, going to find the cross, as he's exploring the area previously discovered by Bent Glass Tube. Oh, Victor down to 1 life, it looks like. This is a little rough here. Oh, and he's got about 15 more points to farm up until he takes a level.
Ooh, that was a close call.
Yeah, very much so. And it looks like Victor is a little more interested in finding the item at the end of the cave, which is a magic jar.
Alright.
So that'll give him his life bar back. So I'm somewhat expecting our runners to probably... Again, this is idle speculation from someone who admittedly sucks at Zelda 2 Randomizer. I would be looking to get that Maze Island entrance because I know there's 2 items there at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all but throwing out the possibility of going into a palace at this point. Maybe
Is that
palace.
just because, like, the life situation right now?
For me, yes.
I'd be hopeless in this situation, so I have no advice for these runners.
Well,
I worry that key might like point to the fact that the game expects them to go find stuff in palaces, but it's not going to give them the tools to make that easy.
well, the way the logic works is that you need to have either the fairy spell or the any key before the game expects you to even go into a palace in the first place.
Yeah.
So starting with the key, it's very possible that we could have all of the, I guess, useful items hidden away in the 6 palaces.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this point, well, right out of the box, this game expected you to potentially go looking into a palace to find an item to progress. Bent glass tube finding new Kasudo. 6 magic containers required to have the old lady help out. And without the spell, we're not going to get anything from the spell tower. So it looks like bent glass tube going to see if he can catch a spell. There's the shield spell.
All right. Now, shield, I assume, will make survivability a little better.
It should have the damage that's taken, so I mean, you're basically looking at 2 hits instead of 1.
Okay.
So go east to find the cross. Thanks.
Useless item that we already have. Perfect hint.
Yeah. It's kind of like go west to find the raft.
Yeah. Is that an
Yeah.
actual hint that can happen?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. The raft is in the game, thank you.
Alright, so this magic word will give you power. The power to turn into a fairy.
Yeah. I'm getting the sinking feeling that the dungeons are beckoning with 1 heart container.
Well, let's see. We have 2 items in Death Mountain, of which one we know, I believe, is the trophy.
Yes.
We have
Oh, we got a glove.
a glove. What? Oh, on a desert tile. Interesting. And no jump for you. You're not going to get anything from this water tile. So, bent glass tube finding the water tile, but alright, here's the companion to, I believe, 3 or 6.
Alright. You will go inside.
Well, at this point, it's not gonna... Actually, I think this is a 2 or 5, not 3 or 6. And we'll see soon enough. I'll figure it out once he finds the boss. Ooh, VictorSantafe finding Thunder in Old Kasuto.
Excellent. Very required. Well, okay, so is Thunderbird necessarily required in these settings?
Negative. It could be, or it may not be.
Okay.
bentglasstube is exploring Palace 2. VictorSantafe finding Maze Island. Oh. Now we know where the Great Palace is.
There's one of the drops. P-Bag, 500.
Not the best thing for VictorSantafe to find here.
Yeah.
We're going to get diminishing returns on the P-Bags, unfortunately. When you need 970 experience points and you get a 500-point P-Bag, you just kind of go, damn it. But seeing all these P-Bags, again, brings me back to that point of there may not be very many heart containers.
Yeah. Starting to get worried about that. Did Victor find 2 500 P-Bags in the maze?
Yes, he did.
No.
So, Maze Island, 2 500-point P-Bags. bentglasstube, getting through a hammer block room, or excuse me, glove block room. So having the glove allowing him to proceed in Palace 2.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna check out a dripper, see if it'll actually leave an enemy. And 50-point Stalfos Knights. So VictorSantafe, unfortunately, getting the bad news that we're going to have to head back to Maze Island because that's where the Great Palace is.
Yeah. Random 500 for BGT. Gonna take a magic level up. 444.
Yeah, it looks like bentglasstube found himself a dead-end room, so I'm going to immediately turn back around.
And do you have any sense if he's, like, looking for the item here, or is he just trying to beat the palace?
A little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. Because you're definitely going to look for the item. Let's see. We know where New Kasuto is. I don't think we've seen Three-Eyed Rock, so it's entirely possible the flute may not be needed nor required to get rid of a river devil or expose whatever's behind Three-Eyed Rock. Wow, bentglasstube doing some work here.
Yeah, that was quite a
Juggling
gauntlet that
around.
he just plowed through. And he's found the boss. That's
Ooh,
P2,
Helmet
yeah.
Head, just 4 blocks of life, and attack 4 just gets rid of him.
Yeah.
So let's call it 3245. Bent glass tube.
Did he place a crystal there?
No, he did not. Just kind of waltzed on by.
Is he gonna grind? He's only 6 or 14 away from a level, so that's probably what he's thinking here.
Yeah, I still think I would have just turned around, but
Ooh.
oh no, taking a death.
He's got lives though, so
Yeah, 3 lives in reserve, so not the biggest deal.
I think he'll get the level on this enemy here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's gonna take that level, so looks like VictorSantafe
It's
picking
a
up
guaranteed
shield.
level, right? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, it'll bring you up to whatever that number where the next is.
Mm-hmm.
So if he went right to the crystal, dunked it, it would give him 1,300 experience.
Okay.
So it would bring him up to whatever that point threshold is. So if he was at 1299, it would give him 1 experience because it would just bring him right up to that next threshold.
Yeah, so that's the theory, is like if you're near a level, you might want to just grind the experience out to not waste the gem level, right?
Absolutely. But Bent Glass Tube is definitely looking for an item, but unfortunately found a Stalfos that was pretty nasty. So it looks like VictorSantafe still continuing the exploration line. Gonna pick up what seems to be another spell. And this magic word will give you power. Nintendo power. Or fairy power. Yeah, that's it. Fairy power.
Oh.
Oops. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Bent Glass Tube, not making the jump and unfortunately unable to ferry before dipping into the sauna. VictorSantafe is just gonna fire and forget with Thunder to try to likely just get what he can, but this is the glove, so what we can see on the commentary restream is that Victor was none too pleased to find that glove, either shaking his head in disgust or just like, oh, come on, I should have found this a long time ago. But, at this point, we have not seen Palace 1. We have not seen the companion to Palace 3 or 6. Freiberger speculating as to which palaces we have and have not seen so far. And Bent Glass Tube, looks like he's going on to about 5 minutes now, since finding, oh no, did it again.
It's the same spot.
Yeah. Probably best to just use Fairy here and just forget about it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, just let him walk off. This does not look like a friendly room.
No, you get hit by this guy, and that'll be it. Ugh. Yeah, gonna use Fairy and hope he can avoid these maces. Looks like he made it through. So
Alright.
we'll see what's on the other side. Oh, and of course it's an orange iron knuckle. Ew. Oh, get that one up, doll. There we go.
A little bit of safety now.
So yeah, a bit of an insurance policy.
Victor's got a River Devil over on his side. I didn't see if it was blocking anything.
Well, we see the item.
500 P bag.
P bag.
Who could have guessed it?
So at this point, that's definitely 2 heart containers that are out of the mix just from the sheer volume of P bags that we've seen so far.
I think that River Devil was just hanging out by a palace. I don't think you need to clear it for any reason.
Well, he does tend to just bent glass tube taking a chain flinger chain right as he's jumping off the platform. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah. He's got the item and he's beaten the boss. This journey is just to go place the gem because he grinded that level out instead.
Well, the good thing is we've got about 1,300 XP from this gem as things stand right now.
Yep. Any suspicion what he'll level up? Well, I guess it's whatever get the 1450 is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So VictorSantafe gonna be fighting one of the Rebanak mini bosses, so he is definitely in Palace 6. And just jumping on the head of the Iron Knuckle as dismounting from the Rebanak. I believe this is the item area. Again, no, this is actually the on-track Rebanak. VictorSantafe, you got the glove, my dude. You can just break that block. So, a little bit of a delay due to a technicality, but at 41:30, our first crystal.
Yep. 5 more to go.
Yeah. So bent glass tube taking what the crystal would give him, and that I believe is life 6. Alright, bent glass tube finding a forest tile.
$500. Sensing a theme.
Yeah, unfortunately, all of the heart containers that have been removed from the item pool are all gonna be 500 point P bags, but Bent Glass Tube at least has the slight advantage of having a crystal placed at this point.
Yeah.
And it looks like VictorSantafe is going to have a little something to say about that. Well, it looks like a very low health threshold Barba, but with attack 4, this may take a while.
Yeah. And maybe playing it a little safe with the health situation, you think?
Well, he's not using shield, but I think Barba would kill him no matter what. Alright, so there we go. Barba down on the side of VictorSantafe. So Victor,
one apiece.
Yeah, we'll see if Victor turns around here, but it looks like he's gonna take his life 6 and get on out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a River Devil just kind of chilling out.
He's just watching, enjoying the show.
Alright, so Bent Glass Tube seems to be interested in trying to explore.
Yeah.
As he's gone back into a cave. So let's see what Bent Glass Tube finds for himself here. That's just the pass-through that we've seen previously on Victor's side.
Okay.
So it looks like Bent Glass Tube's going to have a go at this palace. I believe 3. As we already saw a 6 on the side of VictorSantafe, and it's the same pillar structure as 6. So it looks like Flute is out of there, unless we have a Three-Eyed Rock sighting, which would have to be Palace 1. But I believe that's going to be on the western continent, not the east. VictorSantafe having the same idea as bentglasstube, heading into a palace. I did not see what palace it was as he entered. Well, let's see. No boss showing, so charge goes the Rebanak across the screen. Ooh, pushed him a little too far. Wasn't able to jackhammer the Rebanak, but this should be a fairly straightforward boss for bentglasstube. There we go. Got him in the right spot, so this should go pretty quickly. Uh-oh.
Alright, down he goes.
Yeah, lost the jackhammer for a second there, but that'll be... Well, hopefully he won't just jump the crystal, but there it is. Palace 3 down for bentglasstube. I think he's kind of figured out that just about all the items are out of play, but gonna head back in. No, thinking about it. No.
Oh, just
Iron
grinding
knuckle.
in a level. Yeah. Attack 5. Just gonna look for this item though.
Yeah, for better or worse, bentglasstube is gonna look for an item, but want to take a guess as to what it might be?
I mean, not gonna be a heart container.
Yeah, at this point, it doesn't look like it will be. But yeah, I'm thinking it'll be like the 10th one that they've found of these 500-point P-bags, is the way things are going.
Maybe it'll throw us a useless flute at some point to change it up.
Oh, that could be. But bentglasstube just getting out of there, so it looks like... and about all we have left to find is a trophy which we know is in Death Mountain through a hint that we've seen, and I believe it was bentglasstube who saw that hint. VictorSantafe has Thunder, which was found in Old Kasudo. Let's see. And looks like Victor able to keep the jackhammer going the whole way through. So Palace 3 down for VictorSantafe. Oh, nope, that's a negative. VictorSantafe gonna have a go and see what he can find for an item. Oh, not what you wanted to see from that statue. Those statues give you, I believe, a 50-50 shot of either an iron knuckle or a red jar to refill your magic. And bentglasstube is actually into Death Mountain.
Yeah. What are we hoping to find as an item here, do you think?
A magic jar? I would think that's about the most useful thing you could find at this point. I mean, the boots are quality of life. We've not seen Palace 1 yet at all, as bent glass tubes into the hammer cave.
That's a game over,
Oh
unfortunately.
no, bent glass tube taking a game over in Death Mountain. In the hammer cave, of all places.
Yeah. At least he knows where it's at.
Quite the unfortunate occurrence for bent glass tube, so I think that just about makes him pot committed toward trying to sort this out and heading back over to Death Mountain. VictorSantafe trying to clip himself up and out. There we go.
Getting punished again.
Well, when you get one of these one heart container seeds,
Yeah, grab that. Thank you.
oh yeah, that one-up doll definitely gonna get put to good use as being you're on what, 2
That was unfair. He spawned with an axe in his back.
Yeah, it's like, alright, you've got 1 block of health, so let's make it more unfair and just spawn a Dyra right on top of you. So no matter what you do, you're getting zapped. At least attack 5 seems to be taking care of that red Dyra very quickly, so bent glass tube hopefully gonna be able to fish the item out of here. Oh no, getting tagged. No, oh, not enough magic for the life spell. There it is, gets past the Dyra. VictorSantafe finding the child in Palace 3, but can't really think of a spell that would be of much any use to him. We have life, we have fairy, we have reflect, we have thunder. Spell, maybe?
Oh, with
In
a
an ideal
vodka.
situation?
Yeah.
But even then, that spell is only going to, you know, open the spell tower in New Kasudo. I'm not too thrilled about this prospect. Let's see. Yeah, fire and spell are the 2 remaining spells for VictorSantafe. The spell tower would be unlocked by getting the spell. As bent glass tube is just can't let this go. Gonna see if he can get through this cave and fish the item out of there. Oh, yep. Turn around, get the 1-up doll. I think this is just kind of like a mandatory thing to get that 1-up doll.
Yeah. I don't think you can leave him behind in this seed.
No, not at all. VictorSantafe, it looked like using a spell as if he kind of forgot that he already defeated the Rebanak. So that's Palace 3 for both of our runners. Done and dusted. At least for VictorSantafe. Oh, it's the boots. Bent Glass Tube finding the boots at the end of our Death Mountain Hammer Cave. So we know the other item is the trophy. And Bent Glass Tube is not going to get much out of it except potentially the spell. Or... oh, jeez. I'm old. I can't even remember. Fire.
Fire,
That's
yeah.
it. Yeah.
And fire is basically useless, right?
Well, fire could be linked to another spell.
Okay.
On its own, fire is pretty much garbage. Which is why another spell is linked to it. So, let's say you get thunder, for example. That would make things very easy for the runners.
Yeah, it'd be like a cheaper version of that spell, right?
Oh, much cheaper. Fire is one of the lowest costing spells in the game. It could go as low as, I believe, 8.
Apparently it's linked to shield, we already know.
Well, neither of the runners have fire, so I'm not sure how that could be known at this point. Maybe I'm missing something, but...
yeah, I don't know the mechanics enough to say one way or the other. That's a boot slot cave.
Yeah, a couple boots locked caves here in Death Mountain, but I think Bent Glass Tube is interested more in Spectacle Rock. Oh. And let's see. Oh, Bent Glass Tube not even bothering with the pea bag drop.
Another life, go get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest commodity we're gonna see here is the 1-up dolls.
Never been so valuable.
Yeah. VictorSantafe looking to potentially take the lead here, heading into another palace.
You know, looks like Bent Glass Tube is gonna go try to find that trophy.
Well, it would be in Spectacle Rock. Bent Glass Tube saw Spectacle Rock, but now just has to figure out how to get to it. But unfortunately for Bent Glass Tube, this time that he's using to get the trophy is only going to potentially get him fire or the spell, and I don't think the spell tower is going to give him anything of value.
Yeah. Well, he's missing thunder, so could that be what's motivating him to find it?
Oh, absolutely. He did not find Old Kasuto yet. But Bent Glass Tube is unfortunately going to get the bad news once he gets Spectacle Rock. So there's our trophy. Bent Glass Tube getting out of there. So I think he's going to turn this in, get the bad news, and then just kind of go, ew. Because then it's going to be more exploration, unfortunately, for Bent Glass Tube. Unless you try to go into Chance Another Palace, VictorSantafe trying to do some work with Guma here. Unfortunately, Guma 1-0 in our little matchup here against VictorSantafe.
Yeah. Fascinating watching him like play music on that keyboard and play the game.
Yeah. What we can see that I think that what isn't shown on the restream is that VictorSantafe is actually using a piano keyboard.
Well, I think he's got it up on his like over the game feed in the top part, so I think that's visible on restream.
Oh yeah, we can see that right up by his experience. But yeah, that is Victor's controller. Oh no, Victor taking a game over to Guma. So Victor's gonna nope out a Palace 5. Uh-oh, and we get the hint that Horsehead has the crappy drop item. Which I believe was the child. No, Horsehead, no, we haven't seen Horsehead. Yeah. So, ooh, Palace 1 has a heart. So, Bent Glass Tube looks like he's into Palace 1. And I can guarantee you he's going to fish the item out of here, knowing that it's a container.
Yeah. You don't say. Yeah. Yeah, as far as the keyboard, like, it's not like he's allowed to, like, macros or turbos to the keys or anything. Like, it's a one-to-one to the buttons on the controller, so it's not any kind of advantage for him.
Well, they're making fighting game controllers where, because I don't want to give them the free advertising of me saying what they're called. The directional joystick is 4 buttons for, up, down, left, and right, and they're actually a little controversial because in a fighting game you're not supposed to be able to hold left and right at the same time.
Yeah.
But I don't believe there's any advantage to be gained by holding left and right at the same time in Zelda 2 Randomizer.
I wouldn't know if there was.
But Bent Glass Tube exponentially extending his life here.
Yeah, look at that beautiful second set of pixels up there. That sounds OP. Yeah, I know, like in like Super Mario Brothers, left plus right is a task thing that can get you do some strats that normal controller wouldn't let you do. So it wouldn't
Yeah.
surprise me if other NES titles are the same way.
Yeah, task strats are interesting to say the least, but VictorSantafe picking up the boots. So we'll see what that unlocks for him.
That sounds like a fun watch. I'll have to look that up.
So it looks like Victor into Death Mountain now. So it might be the point at which I'm going to say Bent Glass Tube might be developing a bit of an advantage here.
Yeah.
Picking up that heart.
No. Are we presuming that Victor's probably going to leave after he finds the first item in Death Mountain?
Well, I can't fathom he would bother with the trophy. Because he knows at this point it could only be spell or fire. So Bent Glass Tube jumping out to a bit of a lead here, dunking that third crystal. VictorSantafe headed into a palace himself. Gonna try to play a little bit of catch-up. I believe going into Palace 5 again. Oh no, VictorSantafe is into Palace 1. Oh, we'll see if he found a hint for the heart or not, but VictorSantafe may just be going, okay, it's Palace 1, I'm just going to get the item, period.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bent Glass 2. Getting out of there. Just saying no to palaces.
And there's the heart.
Might be the only one of the seed, but both of our runners have it here, so we'll see how it ends up working out. Should make things a lot easier with our runners going over an hour on one block of life. It looks like Bent Glass Tube might be a little lost here. Doing a bit of exploring.
Is he just looking for Nikasudo to find his thunder?
Old Kasuto, actually.
Old
And
Kasuto,
that,
yeah.
I believe Victor found it on the Western continent. The Bent Glass Tube, I'm almost certain they were up this way already. They started with the hammer. So Victor about to even the score up here 3-3. So Palace 1 out of the way for VictorSantafe. This puts potentially, with the spells available to him, VictorSantafe is probably in the lead right now, just on the basis of having Thunder. If bentglasstube can make the play to get into Old Kasuto, get Thunder, then our runners would be back on an even playing field.
Victor heading west.
I guess a little boundary check for Victor. Maybe something down in the bottom east corner. As it stands right now, VictorSantafe heading into, no, not having any part of that dungeon, as bentglasstube finding the medicine.
Imagine he's probably going to immediately turn that in, looking for Thunder.
Well, it's entirely possible he does not remember which town it was. For what little it matters, bentglasstube about to turn into medicine.
I don't remember which spell this was. Nothing groundbreaking, obviously. Jump.
So bentglasstube not thrilled to find that at all. So just looking at the expression on his face, he's going, all right, what the heck am I missing? And I think he's deduced that he's got to head west, as he's got 6 of the spells now. And unfortunately, one of the spells he's missing is Thunder. The sick thing here is being on 2 heart containers. you don't want to just run to the boss and go, okay, get out of here. Oh, bent glass tube headed back to the water tile. So that's going to be a magic jar.
Alright.
So still one more magic jar away from being able to visit New Kasuto and get the item from the old lady. I think Bent Glass Tube recognizing that and should nope on out of here. Yeah. New Kasuto having no real value yet. No spell, and no 6 magic containers.
I believe they both got the same magic jar. Shadow. I could be wrong, though.
VictorSantafe got a magic jar that was in a cave. I think.
That does sound
Oh,
right.
it's been so long ago, I can't
Yeah, it was
really
like an hour ago
remember.
that he found it. And Victor's on the Guma. Looks like it might take a while here.
Yeah, this fight with VictorSantafe is a bit rough. Attack 5, even though it looks like it's doing damage to regular enemies, Guma's having none of it.
Mhm.
And Victor's trying to be super careful about not taking a hit.
Yeah. Down he goes.
Alright, so Victor's gonna hopefully dunk this crystal, and for the first time in this race, take the lead 4-3, and crystals dunked in the palaces. Ooh, taking the magic 7. Kind of surprised he didn't go for life 8 for a whole 10-point difference in level up.
That's a dead. That cave in the middle of the mountain is a nice touch.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like it's only a pass-through cave. But it could get them somewhere. Well, right over top of Death Valley.
Yeah.
So Death Valley, if memory serves, was Palace 4.
It was.
So VictorSantafe knows where Palace 4 is and just needs... Yeah, there we go. Bent Glass Tube finding the magic jar that VictorSantafe had found earlier in the run. So this might work or backfire on Bent Glass Tube. It would not shock me if he heads back to New Kasuto. Although I think he's very close to Old Kasuto. It looks like he'll get out of this town he's in. I believe Old Kasuto was right there. So, Bent Glass Tube getting Thunder. So let's see what he'll do with it here. To be honest, I'm semi-surprised we're not just going right into Palace 4 for Bent Glass Tube. The flute's not going to get him anything. The child's not going to get him anything that's mission critical, as it were. Trying to fairy feed his way through the encounter spots.
He had a big smile on his face there for a minute. Maybe about the river devil he saw on the map.
Oh, that could be. We've got both runners on 6 blocks of magic, 2 blocks of health, and Bent Glass Tube into what I believe is Palace 5. No, Palace 6. So Bent Glass Tube's going to take on a Rebanak mini-boss here in 6.
Yeah, I was worried about that. That's a game over, unfortunately.
Well, it's not too bad for Bent Glass Tube here. It only puts him at the start of the dungeon, or excuse me, palace, and it was 3 screens in where this first Rebanak was, so
Yeah.
not a super huge loss, but still an inconvenience at best.
Sure. I suppose if you're going to take a game over, that's where you want to do it.
Yeah, 4 screens, and Bent Glass Tube is back to the Rebanak mini-boss fight.
Much better fight.
Oh, very much so. So now Bent Glass Tube will be able to continue on through Palace 6.
What do we think Victor's looking for here? He seems to be exploring a bit, to me.
I'm not sure. The only thing I can speculate is that he would be looking for more heart containers, potentially. Finding one is kind of, oh, there's got to be more, there's got to be more, there's got to be more.
Yeah.
But I don't think VictorSantafe checked the old lady at New Kasuto. It kind of looks like the child is what's going to get our runners what the heck's it called? That's about the only spot a heart container could be at this point, aside from Palace 4, which neither of our runners have really dove into.
Yeah. Have we seen the one in 6 yet? I don't recall Victor getting it.
Well, it only looked so similar to every other item ever that we've seen in the thread. Or the seed, excuse me. But bentglasstube may actually be trying to jackhammer Barba here. Going for a setup. So, just like the Rebanak before, a very clean fight against Barba. So we're tied up at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Bentglasstube is in position to potentially usurp the lead back from VictorSantafe. We'll see who ends up in 4 sooner. VictorSantafe still yet to find Palace 2.
If I recall correctly, that was the first one that bentglasstube beat, right?
That was Palace. Let's see. Let's reverse engineer things here a little bit. Palace 6 bentglasstube had just finished. Bentglasstube beat Palace 2, 3, 1, and then 6, and it looks like he's going into the Valley of Death. So this will be Palace 4 for bentglasstube.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to set up optimal placement of the enemies. So getting a quick encounter like that, skipping over the lava tile encounters, bentglasstube finds his way through the Valley of Death and into Palace 4. I believe VictorSantafe is in Palace 2.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, it's just a matter of exploration. VictorSantafe probably not going to be very interested in trying to find an item, nor is bentglasstube. Unfortunately for Victor, we know what his item is. So the new information that would be revealed at this point would be bent glass tube and trying to figure out what item is in Palace 4. It looks like he's just looped around. So Victor now using the ferry to get through that one really tough room in Palace 2. Yeah, VictorSantafe giving a little sign of his approval of what he's found in Palace 2. Kind of throwing his arms up and going, oh, come on, another one?
You guys probably saw the keyboard shifting around as he protested that on the restream.
The bent glass tube on to Karok.
Yeah. It does look like he'll be our first of 5 crystals.
Well, unless bent glass tube jumps the podium, and that is not going to happen. Palace 4 down for bent glass tube, although we'll see if he reverses course or just gets out of here at this point. Nope, bent glass tube is donezo with Palace 4. Now it's just a matter of heading to Palace 5, which is literally right next door to the starting palace. If bent glass tube can finish off Palace 5 here, it's off to Maze Island and Palace out in isolation, which is the Great Palace this time around. So at this point, the race is on. VictorSantafe having to complete 2 and 4, while bent glass tube has to complete 5.
Victor making quick work. Fuck ahead.
Yeah, and that'll be Palace 2 for VictorSantafe. So this race shaping up to be quite the race.
Mm-hmm.
A little over an hour and a half in at this point. About an hour and 10 minutes of it spent on one block of life with both of our runners.
Yep. Victor just got his life 8 level. Only difference in levels at the moment between the runners is that extra life level.
It would not shock me if this is about where we're at for final totals of our runners. They'll pick up one more level from dunking the last crystal for Bent Glass Tube Palace 5 and for VictorSantafe Palace 4. So it looks like VictorSantafe finally remembering, oh yeah, that's where Palace 4 was. Valley of Death.
I think he peeked inside earlier in the seed.
Yeah, he did. Bent Glass Tube already up against Guma.
Yeah. He's going to be basically a full palace ahead here. Assuming this fight goes well.
Well, we'll see. Oh, getting a little too close to Boss Guma there.
Yeah, I think I spoke a little too soon. Victor doing a nice job with those encounter skips, and he's in Palace 4. Immediately greeted.
Yeah, unfortunately, Guma
Welcoming
was,
party is not so welcoming.
yeah. Bent Glass Tube. Ooh.
That's game over.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a TKO for Guma.
It's not a short trek back there, I don't think.
No, Palace 5 is one of the longer palaces.
So this could be a bit of an equalizer here.
Yeah. As VictorSantafe is making his way through Palace 4, Bent Glass Tube's got to go through Palace 5 one more time.
We've got a race on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we still don't know what Great Palace has in store for us.
Alright, so let's do a little recap. Our runner started with 4 blocks of magic, 1 block of health, and that 1 block of health has been a consistent thorn in the ass of both of our runners. Game overs and deaths left and right.
Yeah.
Right now, as things stand, Bent Glass Tube, after finishing 5 palaces, is now trying to defeat Boss Guma, and he's failed to do so his previous 3 lives. Oh. Bent Glass Tube taking another death.
Yeah. Looks like Victor has found Forget the name of
Karok,
this boss.
yeah.
Karok.
So this might see VictorSantafe first into Maze Island.
Yeah.
Bentglasstube unfortunately taking the game over when he was up against
Oh, this is going to be very close if he pulls this fight off. And that is a tanky Goomba.
Yeah, and this is on attack 5. I believe VictorSantafe did it on attack 4.
Oh no. One more life. I think to have much of a chance, he's got to pull this off. He does not want to hoof it through P5 again.
Oh no. Very true. And we're getting to that point where this is an elimination match in the Max Rando Tournament for these runners. So you kind of, at an hour and 45 minutes in, have one eye kind of glancing over to the other screen. Did my opponent done? Did my opponent done? And you look at this, and you're just like, oh, son of a...
I thought he had it that time. That looked like a good fight, at least for the first half of it. But the life is so low that, like, just a couple of mistakes and you're done for. It's so unforgiving.
Well, that's the point that I was getting toward with, you know, you're kind of unconsciously clenching up as VictorSantafe at about little after 1 hour 45 minutes into the Great Palace. Now, if memory serves me correctly, Great Palace may or may not have Thunderbird along the correct path. I have seen Thunderbird on the incorrect path, so there is no guarantee that finding Thunderbird means, hey, I'm on the right track.
Yeah. You just kind of wander until you find Dark Link, I guess, in these settings, right?
Yes,
Is there like a method to the madness to exploring Great Palace?
Take all the drops.
Yeah, 2 hearts. And we had 1 for the majority of the seed.
Yeah, the first hour and 10 minutes, we were on 1 heart, so VictorSantafe finding a dead end.
Just 25%, huh?
And it's surprisingly not often. Thunderbird does show up probably about 40-50% of the time, but not always required as Bent Glass Tube into round 3 against Boss Guma. So Bent Glass Tube's gonna start working down Guma here, as VictorSantafe is already into the Great Palace. Oh, be careful. Bent Glass Tube getting a little too forward here.
Yeah. Oh, this is making me nervous.
Oh no!
No. I think he had him down to 1 hit or so.
Yeah, it looked like 1 or 2. Yeah, alright. So there's the shield. So hopefully this will help slightly.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
The
he's getting bullied in the corner.
Prison riot here. Bent Glass Tube losing that life straight away. Ay. So Bent Glass Tube having a heck of a time here against Boss Guma.
Yeah.
As VictorSantafe into oh no.
That's 3 game overs in P5 at this point.
Yeah.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, unfortunately for Bent Glass Tube, it looks the dire situation getting more and more dire as every moment passes. VictorSantafe, the more time he's given to explore the Great Palace, it kind of goes without saying, but I'll say it nonetheless. You just find that, looks like VictorSantafe turning around and going, all right, I want the Eon drop. Oh, and of course he gets blocked.
He found it.
Looks like no Thunderbird for VictorSantafe, and unfortunately for Bent Glass Tube, this is one Dark Link fight away from being unfortunately eliminated.
Yeah. Down he goes. Get your GG's in for Victor.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get those GG's in. With an official time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, 45 seconds, VictorSantafe is going to win this race. Moving on to face Paratroopa in the next round of the losers bracket. I believe Bent Glass Tube has tapped out.
Yeah.
So that will be it for this race tonight. Bent Glass Tube, unfortunately, being eliminated from the Max Rando Tournament.
Hey, Victor.
Hey guys. Wow.
Well played. How'd you like that seed? Low health, huh?
I'm sorry about my language, but that was a shit fest. That was that forced so many mistakes from me. I really didn't deserve this one, but yeah, low survivability kind of fries your brain faster. So, but yeah, I made so many mistakes. I misplaced Palace 2. Well, I didn't find it. When I got the glove, I got so excited about getting the glove that I forgot to check the section I was in, and that was where Palace 2 was, and I ended up going way out of my way because of that, and I didn't even know if the flute was required, because as I didn't see that palace, I thought maybe the flute could be required. So yeah, I got out of my way through the whole seed. The Guma fight, thankfully I found that hard container. If I didn't, I don't know if I would have finished this one, because I wasn't playing well. I mean, I was missing all my jumps, all the 3 tile jumps, I missed them all. And in Guma, I was fighting terribly. Thankfully, there was no Thunderbird. Yeah, this one wasn't that bad, but it was horrible for me, so I don't know why I won. I kind of want to know about bentglasstube story in this one.
His story was Guma. He game over 3 times in that fight.
Wow, no. It was
were
a
even at
one-hit.
5.
Yeah, one-hit knockout if you had one hard container, and yeah, you're not used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a point in the race where bentglasstube was into Palace 5 and already making his way through while you were finishing Palace 2 and making your way to Palace 4. But, well, that's when kind of the wheels just sort of fell off for bentglasstube. The 3 game overs had you finishing Palace 4 and then into Great Palace and on to Dark Link, all while bentglasstube was trying in vain to finish off Boss Guma.
Yeah, and to top it all, Guma was very deep. He was like 12, 13 rooms in, so yeah, that's why when I game over the first time, I said I need to do other palaces first, get some levels, maybe find some survivability items, and thankfully I got a level and a hard container. But if I didn't find a hard container, I don't think I would have been able to do that fight.
Yeah,
Today,
so.
Other day maybe, but tonight it was impossible.
Well, better lucky than good, I guess. But
yeah, another huge
sometimes.
mistake I made is I started getting 1-ups everywhere. I had 6 lives, and I entered Palace 4, and then I died, but then I had 5 lives. And I said to myself, I should not up an A. I need to save these lives for Great Palace. And yeah, 10 seconds later, I'm up an A and losing those 2 extra lives. So yeah, I made a lot of mistakes in this one. But yeah, kind of glad I finished it. Kind of glad this was one of the tamest GPs I've ever played.
Well,
So
for how rough the seed was, GP was definitely merciful.
yeah, absolutely. The waffles, there was only one waffle that was tough, and a miracle happened in the sense that I always fail the trick you do, that you jump one tile away from the waffle and press B immediately, and Link gets inside the waffle on the top. And in the toughest waffle, it worked for me, and it doesn't work like ever. So that was a miracle, and thankfully Darkling was like 1 or 2 rooms away from that. So yeah, kind of glad I finished.
Alan
All
wants
right.
to know if he's banned from rolling or not.
All right. So what do you think? You're gonna move on. You're gonna take on Paratroopa.
Well, I've seen some of his races. I kind of know his style. Well, he confessed his style last night. But yeah, this is the farthest I've ever been in a tournament. I've been playing for 2 years, but in the first ones I always fell in the first round. Lately, I've been able to get into the brackets because I don't know, a lot of people get into brackets, but yeah, I kind of been able to stay in this one. So yeah, anything can happen in Max Rando. So yeah, I wouldn't guarantee that he will win. He's way better than me, but this category allows me to be able to make a miracle happen. So yeah, anything can happen.
All right. Well, good luck to you going forward. So hopefully you can get that race scheduled and on the calendar.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with him, and thank you for your wishes.
Yeah, absolutely. Happened to go through this one. Best of luck to you going forward. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe a seed like this might be what you need to, get Paratroopa, catch him by surprise, and maybe move on one more time in the bracket.
Yeah, I will prefer to have a shorter one, even if survivability is worse. But yeah, in this kind of long seed, I think he kind of has advantages. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to wish for, because Zelda will find a way to please me and at the same time doom me. So
Fair enough.
that's the way it works.
All right. Well, with that said, Victor, well done with your victory. You'll be moving on to face Paratroopa. bentglasstube unfortunately eliminated from the tournament. And I think unless we have any final words, that's going to do it for us tonight.
Yeah, guys, thank you for making this possible as always, and yeah, see you in the next one, or in the commentary booth, whatever happens first.
Absolutely, thanks.
All right, so I guess it's that time to just close up shop for the night. Well, we had a little snafu. It was supposed to be Alan Heffley with me tonight doing commentary, and Bleeding Blue 11 on the tracking, but Bleeding Blue able to step up when we had a little issue with Alan Heffley's audio, which may or may not have been responsible for the delay. But I believe Shadow Magi was taking over the restream for us tonight. Best of luck to you, Victor, going forward, and well, to bentglasstube, unfortunately eliminated from the tournament, but hopefully we'll see them in weekly races going forward. Unless you have something Bleeding Blue, I think that's going to be it for us.
No, I'm all set. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for having me and bearing with me. Obviously, this is my first commentary on Z2, but I enjoyed it. Maybe I'll be back someday.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know if Shadow has anything he wants to add before we sign off.
Just to let people know, there's a really hyped match tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern between some guy named Marco and another guy named What the Hell's Happened?
I know those guys. That's my world.
Yeah, that's gonna be a pretty hyped match, I think.
Now, is that Z2R or a different...
No, that's Ocarina of Time Randomizer, unfortunately. No, it's not Z2R.
Yeah, that's a rematch from last season's grand final of the Randomizer tournament, so that's gonna be a big one.
Ah. Well, look forward to that. I know there's a couple Z2R games coming up on Saturday. Buzz Thunder and Level Engine at noon, then Rose City Saint and Jackamus at 9:30 p.m. Aside from that, I believe that's all I have knowledge of at this point. So it's about that time to just call it a night and let's shut it down.
Sounds good. I had fun. Thank you, everybody, for making this possible and bearing with me.
Yeah, thank you guys. Good night.
Good night, Victor.
Have a good night, everybody.